Okay, strapping in, getting ready for liftoff. We say that a lot on this show, but today it feels especially appropriate, wouldn't you say?
I'd say today we're going further down the rabbit hole than we ever have before.
That's right, folks. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
ATIP.
ATIP, exactly. And let me tell you, the source material you sent over, whoa boy. Reports, articles, firsthand accounts, it's a lot to unpack.
It really does feel like we're stepping into an episode of the X-Files, only this time it's all very, very real.
No kidding. So where do we even begin with something like this? A program so secretive, most people didn't even know it existed until a few years ago. What's the deal with ATIP?
Well, it starts, as these things often do, with a question. A very simple question, really. Are we alone? It's a question that has haunted humanity for as long as we've looked up at the stars.
Right, the age-old question. And one that, it seems, the government decided was worth spending a considerable amount of time and money on trying to answer.
Exactly. And that's what makes ATIP so interesting, isn't it? This wasn't some fringe group of UFO enthusiasts. This was a full-blown government-funded program.
With a budget of, was it $22 million? Something like that.
22 million over 5 years, to be precise.
Okay, that's not chump change. So we've got the U.S. government, a whole lot of taxpayer money, all being funneled into investigating UFOs.
Not just UFOs. UAPs, actually.
Yeah.
Unexplained aerial phenomena. The folks at ATIP wanted to cast a wider net, you see. Anything unusual happening up there in the wild blue yonder, that was their domain.
UATs, got it. But still, why this secrecy? Why not just be upfront about it?
Well, that's a question that has plagued researchers for years. Some speculate it was about controlling the narrative, avoiding mass panic. Others argue it was about maintaining a strategic advantage over other countries. After all, if we were to discover advanced technology, we wouldn't want our rivals getting their hands on it, would we?
I guess not. But then again, there's also the possibility that they were trying to avoid looking like, well,
Like they were chasing little green men.
exactly. Which, let's be honest, is probably what most people think of when they hear about government programs investigating UFOs.
It's a fair point. But the truth is, this goes far beyond just little green men. We're talking about national security, advanced technology, potentially even the very future of humanity. Heady stuff.
Heady is an understatement. But let's rewind a bit, back to the beginning. How did ATIP even get started?
That's a great question. And the answer, like most things ATIP related, is shrouded in a bit of mystery. However, one name keeps popping up. Senator Harry Reid.
Harry Reid, the former Senate Majority Leader.
The very same. Seems he had a long-standing interest in UFOs, or UAPs as they were calling them by then.
Really? That's not something you hear every day. A powerful politician with a fascination for the unknown. I guess everyone has their thing.
Right. But Reid wasn't just passively interested. He was instrumental in getting ATIP off the ground. He used his political clout to secure funding for the program, even though it remained largely under the radar.
So we have this powerful senator working behind the scenes to investigate UAPs. Sounds like something straight out of a Tom Clancy novel.
And just like in a Clancy novel, there are layers upon layers to this story. Remember I mentioned Bigelow Aerospace?
Bigelow, as in Robert Bigelow, the billionaire who owns a hotel chain and is obsessed with UFOs.
One and the same. Turns out, Bigelow's company, which specializes in space technology, was awarded a hefty contract from ATIP.
Okay, now it's getting interesting.
You see, Bigelow and Reid go way back. They were close friends, and both shared this fascination with the unexplained.
Friends in high places, as they say. So we have a powerful senator and a billionaire with a passion for UFOs, both pulling strings to get this program up and running. What exactly were they hoping to achieve? What was ATIP's main mission?
In a nutshell, ATIP was tasked with collecting and analyzing anything and everything related to UAPs. Eyewitness accounts, radar data, you name it.
And were they able to find anything concrete?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. You see, ATIP produced hundreds of reports, analyses, studies, a treasure trove of information, all kept highly classified. But there's one report in particular that has fueled endless speculation. A massive 494-page report compiled by Bigelow Aerospace itself.
494 pages on UFOs. Someone had a lot of late nights. What was in it?
Well, no one knows for sure, at least not publicly. The report remains classified to this day. But rumors abound, of course.
Oh, I bet they do. Rumors of what?
Some say it contains detailed analysis of UFO sightings from around the world, along with, get this, potential evidence of advanced technology.
Hold on, are we talking about alien tech here? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm just saying, the rumors are out there. And when you combine those rumors with The government's obsession with secrecy, well, let's just say it gets people talking. But it wasn't just about collecting stories. ATIP was also funding some pretty groundbreaking research.
Oh, like what? Tell me they were building a real-life UFO in some secret desert hangar.
I wish I could tell you that. But no, this research was a little more theoretical. We're
Mm.
talking about studies on things like, I don't know, warp drives.
Warp drives. You're kidding. Like, faster than light travel warp drives.
Yep, you heard that right. It seems ATIP wasn't just looking for nuts and bolts explanations. They were open to exploring the truly out there stuff. And you know what? Good for them.
I'll say, I mean, if you're going to investigate UFOs, you might as well go big or go home, right?
Exactly. But despite all this activity, all this research, all this intrigue, for years the public remained blissfully unaware. ATIP was like this shadowy phantom operating in the dark corners of the government. That is, until 2017 when everything changed.
2017, huh? What happened then? Was that when those Navy pilot videos came out?
Ding, ding, ding.
Huh?
You have a winner. 2017 was the year Luis Elizondo, a former intelligence official, decided to go public with what he knew about ATIP. And he brought receipts.
Receipts in the form of grainy footage of tic-tac-shaped objects doing things that would make even Maverick jealous.
Those are the ones. Those videos, they spread like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone was talking about UFOs again.
I remember watching them thinking, is this it? Is this the proof everyone's been waiting for? What about you?
I have to admit, even as someone who's deep in this world, those videos, they got to me. Seeing those pilots, those trained professionals, reacting to those objects with such a mix of awe and confusion, well, it was hard to write it off as just another hoax.
And it wasn't just the videos, was it? The Navy themselves confirmed the footage was real.
Exactly. They didn't try to deny it. They didn't try to explain it away. They just came right out and said, yep, that's real footage, and those are unidentified aerial phenomena.
Talk about a bombshell. I bet the Pentagon was sweating bullets.
You'd think so, right? But their response was a masterclass in, well, non-answers. They confirmed ATIP existed. But when it came to what they found, what they concluded, it was all very tight-lipped.
Classic government secrecy. So what happened to ATIP after that? Did they shut it down, sweep it under the rug, pretend it never existed?
Officially, the Pentagon claims ATIP ended in 2012. Budget cuts, lack of findings, you know the drill. But there are whispers.
Whispers. Ah, I do love a good whisper. What kind of whispers?
Whispers that ATIP, well, it might not have ended in 2012. Some sources claim the program continued in some form even after the Elizondo leak in 2017.
Wait, you're telling me the government might still be investigating UFOs right now, even as we speak?
I'm just saying, don't be surprised if the truth is out there. And even if ATIP itself is truly gone, its legacy, well, it lives on in a big way.
How so? What happened after ATIP?
Remember that whole UAP thing? That wasn't just ATIP trying to be cute with their acronyms.
Okay.
In 2020, the Pentagon officially announced the creation of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, the UAPTF.
A whole new task force dedicated to UFOs. It seems like they're finally taking this stuff seriously.
It does, doesn't it? And they're being a little more open about it this time around. They've even held a few congressional hearings on the topic.
Congressional hearings? Now that's interesting. Did we learn anything new from those?
A bit. Not as much as many hoped, of course. A lot of the juicy details are still classified. But one thing that came out of those hearings was a statement from Senator Mark Warner.
Okay. And why is Senator Warner important in all of this?
He's a pretty powerful guy, member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. And he expressed concern publicly about the potential security risks posed by UAPs. Specifically, he mentioned the safety of our military pilots.
So not just some fringe senator talking about little green men, but a serious politician with access to classified information expressing concern about national security. That's not nothing.
It's not, and it really underscores the complexity of this whole issue, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like we're trying to navigate a maze in the dark. We know there's something out there, something strange and potentially significant, but we can't quite make sense of it.
And that's the crux of it, isn't it? We're dealing with a lot of unknowns, a lot of what-ifs.
It's enough to make your head spin.
So where do we even go from here? It's a tangled web we're weaving today. But that's what makes it so fascinating, right? What are the main arguments on each side of this whole UAP debate? Well, you've got your skeptics, of course, and they do raise some valid points. Eyewitness accounts, they can be unreliable, especially in high-stress situations like, flying a fighter jet at Mach speed.
Right. Your senses might play tricks on you when you're buzzing the tower.
Exactly. Not to mention the possibility of misidentified aircraft, weird weather phenomena, even just plain old sensor glitches.
It happens. Even the most advanced tech isn't foolproof.
Right. And then there's a lack of, well, hard evidence.
No crashed saucers on display in some government warehouse?
Not that I'm aware of, though I wouldn't say no to a peek if they ever found one, would you?
Huh. Can you imagine? But you're right, the skeptics do have a point. So what about the other side? The believers.
Well, the believers, they look at all this circumstantial evidence and they say, hold on a minute, this is more than just swamp gas and wishful thinking. The sheer number of sightings, the credibility of some witnesses, we're talking about pilots, military personnel, even astronauts.
People who know a thing or two about the sky.
Precisely. And then there's the government's own behavior, all this secrecy and ambiguity. It just fuels the flames.
It's like they're trying really hard not to tell us something.
It makes you wonder. And let's not forget those AATIP-funded research projects. Warp drives, extra dimensions. They weren't just messing around with weather balloons, that's for sure.
It's like they suspected they were dealing with technology so far beyond our current understanding, it would seem like magic to us.
Almost like they were preparing for something big, something world-changing.
Okay, now we're getting into some truly mind-blowing territory. But even if we set aside the question of whether or not these UAPs are alien, the fact remains that there are things in our airspace that we can't identify or explain.
Absolutely. And that, my friend, is something we should all be concerned about.
Because
Because it raises some fundamental questions about our security, our technology, even our place in the universe.
no kidding. It's a bit unsettling when you think about it. We like to think we have a pretty good grasp on things, but then something like this comes along and reminds us just how much we don't know.
Exactly. It's humbling, in a way, and it highlights the importance of continued research, of digging deeper, of asking the tough questions.
So, where do we go from here? What's the next step in this great cosmic mystery?
Honestly, I think the most important thing is for the government to be more transparent.
Right, let's shed some light on this whole thing. No more shadowy programs, no more whispers and rumors.
Exactly. The more we know, the better equipped we'll be to handle whatever the truth may be. Because here's the thing. Let's say, just for a moment, that the truth is out there. Let's say the government does have definitive proof that we're not alone. What then?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What happens when we finally encounter something truly other?
How would it change our understanding of ourselves, of our place in the universe? How would it change our world?
Big questions, no easy answers.
No easy answers, indeed. But they're questions we need to start asking ourselves. Because the truth, as they say, is out there.
Well said. A huge thank you to you for taking us on this wild ride through the world of ATIP and UAPs. And to everyone listening, keep those eyes on the skies, and as always, stay curious.